Hello there, you're watching Nightline. I'm Anita Wu. News making the headlines. Illegal mining and smuggling syndicate. Former state customs director among 3 nabbed. And at least 49 people killed in 2 separate road accidents. We begin today's bulletin with this news from abroad. At least 5 people were injured after a fire broke out in the Haramain high-speed rail station in Saudi Arabia's coastal city of Jeddah. The country's civil defense service said so far there were no immediate reports of death, adding that they were still fighting the fire, which broke out at 12:35 p.m. local time. Plumes of thick black smoke were still seen emanating from the roof of the station, with helicopters flying nearby. The $7.3 billion, 450-kilometer Haramain railway, linking the 2 holiest cities in Islam, namely Mecca and Medina, with the Red Sea city of Jeddah, was opened in September last year. The station is part of efforts to boost tourism revenue as the country seeks to shed its dependence on oil exports. Elsewhere in China, at least 36 people were killed after a bus collided with a lorry on Sunday. Another 36 people were reported to have been injured, with 9 in serious condition. Investigators believe the accident in Jiangsu province happened when the bus carrying 69 people veered across a motorway because of a flat tire. It then crashed into a lorry, which was said to be carrying 3 people and moving in the opposite direction. The Changchun-Shenzhen Expressway reopened after 8 hours of rescue work. According to authorities, 58,000 people were killed in accidents across the country in 2015 alone. Violations of traffic laws were blamed for nearly 90% of accidents that caused deaths or injuries that year. Back to the home front. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, has arrested a former state director of customs and 2 directors of a private limited company on Saturday in relation to alleged corruption involving illegal logging, illegal mining and smuggling. MACC Chief Commissioner Latifah Koya said the former state director was arrested at the Kelantan MACC office, whereas the other 2 suspects were nabbed at a hotel in Genting Highlands, Pahang. In a statement Sunday, she said a substantial amount of cash was also seized during the arrests. Upon MECC's application, Kota Baru Magistrates Court has granted a 5-day remand order against the suspects on Sunday morning. The MACC recently announced that the anti-corruption body will be cracking down on corruption involving illegal logging, illegal mining and smuggling. Singapore and Malaysia have agreed to extend the suspension of the proposed Johor Bahru-Singapore Rapid Transit System, or RTS link, until October 31st, 2019, without any additional cost. In a media statement on Sunday, the Transport Ministry said both countries agreed to the extension of 1 month from the original suspension date of September 30th. The statement, however, did not specify the reason for the extension. In May this year, both countries agreed to suspend the RTS link to allow for Malaysia more time to study the scope, structure and cost of the project. The 4-kilometre link, which would connect Woodlands North Station on Singapore's Thomson East Coast MRT line to Bukit Chagar in Johor Bahru, was targeted to begin operations by December 31st, 2024. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad arrived in London on Sunday for a 2-day working visit. He was accompanied by his wife, Tun Dr. Siti Asmah Muhammad Ali. The Prime Minister arrived in London from New York, where he attended the 74th United Nations General Assembly, UNGA. The couple were met at the Luton Airport by Malaysian High Commissioner Datuk Muhammad Sadiq Kadirghani and his wife Datin Jaria Basran an hour before midnight. At his residence in London, they were met by heads of departments and Malaysian agencies. The Prime Minister is scheduled to visit the Battersea Power Station project, one of the biggest Malaysian investments in the United Kingdom. He would also visit the British Museum, where he will see the exhibition entitled How the Islamic World Influenced Western Art at the Al-Bukhari Foundation Gallery of the Islamic World. Before leaving for home, the Prime Minister will meet Malaysian students. The Finance Ministry on Sunday has attributed the increase in the nation's direct debt to the government's refusal to resort to off-balance sheet financing to cover up dubious debts. Off-balance sheet refers to items that are effectively assets or liabilities but do not appear on the balance sheet. According to official figures, direct debt rose to 51.2% of the GDP last year from 50.1% in 2017. In a statement Sunday, Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng said Malaysia had accumulated 1.087 trillion ringgit in debt and liabilities as at the end of 2017, a substantial portion of which comprised hidden debt and liabilities that the previous administration had deceitfully kept under wraps or disguised as off-balance sheet items. He said this included the 38.3 billion ringgit worth of the One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB debt. The other liabilities, amounting to 260.1 billion ringgit, involved off-balance sheet government expenditure masked as public-private partnership (PPP) or private finance initiatives (PFI). However, the financial cost, risks and obligations of these projects lie entirely with the federal government. Hence, the PPPs and PFIs were abused by the then-previous government to give the false perception of low budget deficits and a corresponding lower level of perceived debt. Lim said, however, that the current government had significantly reduced the nation's total debt and liabilities from 79.3% of the GDP as of December 31, 2017 to 75.4% a year later. Speaking on another matter, the Finance Minister has once again reminded taxpayers who wish to declare their income voluntarily to the Inland Revenue Board (IRB) through the special programme for voluntary disclosure to do so by tomorrow, which is the last day to avoid paying high penalties. Lim said the ministry would not be extending the programme.
Ada pihak yang lupa laporkan cukai dan mereka akan dikenakan penalti di antara 45% hingga 200%. So hari esok adalah hari terakhir. Kita harap sesiapa yang nak buat pelaporan masih boleh bentangkan dan sungguh pun tak diluluskan asalkan mereka bentangkan pada hari esok pun akan dikira sah laku. Asalkan mereka bentangkan hari esok iaitu hari terakhir.
Lim was speaking to the media after launching the special road safety advocacy programme Drive Safe With Us, organised by the Road Safety Department in Butterworth on Sunday. The aim of the scheme, announced in the 2019 budget, was to provide taxpayers who have tax compliance problems a second chance to rectify their tax reporting by offering a low penalty rate of only 15% for the second phase of the programme. Sabah became the fifth state in the country to recognise the Unified Examination Certificate, UEC. The certificate is taken by students at independent Chinese schools. Sabah Chief Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Shafie Apdal said the State Cabinet had made the decision to recognise the certificate holders for enrolment into local institutes of higher learning as well as employment in the state civil service. He said the state government studied various matters over UEC and decided that it was in the interest of the state to recognise it. The four other states which have recognised the certificate are Sarawak, Selangor, Pulau Pinang and Malacca. At the national level, the Education Minister on Sunday said that the government has yet to decide on recognising the certificate. Mazli Malik said currently the ministry is still awaiting the UEC Review Committee's report on the matter before it can be brought to the Cabinet. When asked about the Sabah government's move in recognising the UEC, Mazli said that it was the decision of the state. Later in the day, the UEC task force said it will present a summary of their findings to the Education Ministry on Monday. Malaysia Kini on Sunday quoted its chairman, Edin Khoo, as saying that there were two phases, the findings and the recommendations, and the final written report. He added that the task force interviewed 72 individuals, groups and political parties on the issue and will produce their opinions and concerns in the report. Businessman Low Tech Joe, or better known as Joe Low, could be hiding in plain sight among his Hollywood friends in Los Angeles. According to a new report by Page 6, the New York Post's entertainment news portal, there were rumors that Low was seen surrounded by people last week at a private dinner party at a producer's house in Hollywood Hills. Joe Low is well known for his close ties to Hollywood celebrities. A source was quoted by the report as saying that people were convinced that the individual spotted was Joe Low. Last Wednesday, the Inspector General of Police had said that Bukit Aman police know the businessman's whereabouts and hope to bring him back by the end of the year to help in the ongoing investigations into the One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB scandal. He has been identified by investigators from Malaysia and the United States as the main character in the 1MDB scandal. Last December, the businessman was charged in absentia with 5 money laundering charges for transferring 4.21 billion ringgit into Goodstar Limited's accounts between September 30th, 2009 and October 25th, 2011.
To enhance value, identify bringing creativity.
The Malaysian Medical Association, MMA, on Sunday said that it is impossible for general practitioners, GPs, to conduct a proper medical examination for commercial vehicle drivers at 20 ringgit. As such, its president, Dr. N. Ganabhaskaran, urged the Health Ministry to probe the type of medical examinations being offered to e-hailing drivers at only 20 ringgit. In a statement, the MMA chief pointed out that at such a low fee of 20 ringgit, duty and quality of care could be compromised. However, Malaysia E-Hailing Drivers Association, MEHDA, claimed that JPJ's decision to set the mandatory medical examination fee for e-hailing drivers at 80 ringgit was not warranted, as many clinics charge only 20 ringgit. MEHDA claimed that 135 panel clinics nationwide had agreed to the 20 ringgit per person for its members taking the medical examination. Dr. Ganabhaskaran said charging 20 ringgit is unethical, as the clinic and practitioner can be charged under the Private Healthcare Facilities and Services Act 1998. Come October 1st, Dr. Ganabhaskaran said a new format of a more detailed examination proposed by JPJ would require doctors to spend a longer time for each driver to be examined. He said a proper detailed medical examination must be insisted upon by the authorities with no compromise on the standard and quality of healthcare services provided by GPs. The mandatory medical examinations for the application and renewal of public service vehicle (PSV) licence consists of consultation as well as physical examinations for vision, hearing, obstructive sleep apnea, neurology or musculoskeletal, cardiovascular system, respiratory system and diabetes. The National Registration Department, NRD, on Sunday lodged a police report on the allegation made by a social media post that it approved 200,000 citizenship applications. Its Director General, Datuk Ruslan Jusoh, said a report is to enable police to make a thorough investigation into the allegation.
Pihak kita meminta pemohon pemilik akaun tersebut membuktikan kepada kita, hadir kepada kita ke JPN membuktikan terdapat 200 penerima atau pemilik CJ warga negara tersebut. Kita mahu beliau membuktikan pada kita. Tetapi untuk pihak kita, kita tidak pernah mengeluarkan sebanyak begitu.
The police report was lodged at the Putrajaya District Police Headquarters at 11 a.m. on Sunday. He said the Home Ministry had also issued a statement Saturday to deny the allegation. It said from May 2018 until September this year, the NRD received 19,788 citizenship applications from various races. From the applications received, the ministry added only 4,422 were approved for citizenship. The ministry noted that applications for citizenship were based on the provisions under the Federal Constitution. Police personnel and officers will be stationed at 15 People's Housing Projects, or PPR, in the Federal Territory in a bid to curb crime. Kuala Lumpur Police Chief Datuk Sri Mazlan Lazim said the assigned police personnel will stay at several units in the PPR, courtesy of the Federal Territories Ministry.
Kita akan tempatkan anggota yang berpengalaman dan anggota ini berperanan untuk meronda di kawasan berkenaan dan menjadi mata dan telinga, dan kemudian mereka ini akan masuk mesyuarat bersama dengan persatuan penduduk dan mengambil tindakan apa yang telah dibincangkan, dan juga rukun tangga. Mereka join rukun tangga buat rondaan di kawasan perumahan awam ataupun perumahan PPR rakyat.
He said the project will start immediately and the effectiveness will be reviewed after a few months and decide on the length of the tenure later. A total of 494 crimes were recorded at PPR and 42 in public housing projects, or PPA, in Kuala Lumpur between January 1st and September 26th this year. Datuk Sri Mazlan was speaking to the media after the launch of Wilayah Peduli Community Program in Desa Rejang, PPR, on Sunday. Also present was Federal Territory Minister Khalid Abdul Samad. Next on Nightline, closure of the Sungai Semenyih water treatment plant caused by illegal discharge of chemical waste. The details next. Welcome back, still on Nightline. The Sungai Semenyih water treatment plant, which was shut down Saturday evening due to odour pollution, has resumed full operations early on Sunday. According to Pengurusan Air Selangor Sdn Bhd, Air Selangor, the plant began operating again at 6:30 a.m. with 357 million litres of reduced daily treated water production due to the temporary shutdown. Air Selangor Customer Relationship and Communications Department Head Abdul Rauf Ahmad said that the process to increase the water level in the plant is ongoing before water supply can be distributed to the affected areas. He said water tankers have been mobilised and 10 local service centres have been activated beginning 8 a.m. Sunday to assist those affected before water supply is fully restored. Air Selangor on Saturday confirmed that the Sungai Semenyih water treatment plant had to be shut down once again after odour pollution was detected, affecting 204 areas and 372,031 households in Selangor. While Indah Water Consortium Sdn Bhd (IWK) said the closure of the Sungai Semenyih water treatment plant on Saturday was not caused by its sewage treatment operations. The IWK, in a statement Sunday, said the incident was caused by illegal discharge of chemical waste near the sewage plant at Bandar Bukit Mahkota. It said the company, together with the Department of Environment, had lodged a police report about the matter. It added that police arrived at 10 p.m. on Saturday to inspect a manhole suspected of being the discharge point of the contaminant. In the meantime, Selangor Environment, Green Technology and Consumer Affairs Committee Chairman He Loy Sian, in a statement, said an investigation was initiated by Selangor Water Management Authority and the DOE. The investigation revealed that a manhole in Bandar Bukit Mahkota might have been used to discharge contaminants before it entered the sewage treatment plant in Bandar Bukit Mahkota. In Johor, 3 staff of Sekolah Menengah Islam As-Siddiq, Simpang Renggam, Kluang, died in a road accident Sunday afternoon. Police said in the 1:40 p.m. crash, the car the victims were travelling in collided with a 4-wheel drive at kilometre 23 near Felda Nita Mersing. The victims were on their way from Mersing to Kluang when the accident occurred. The driver and passengers of the 4-wheel drive, meanwhile, sustained minor injuries. The cause of the accident is being probed under the Road Transport Act 1987. In Terengganu, the Kuala Terengganu High Court on Sunday ordered 9 parties to pay a sum of 616,634 ringgit and 20 sen to a victim in a school bullying case 4 years ago. The 9 included 5 former senior students of Sultan Mahmud Science Secondary School, SESMA. Judge Datuk Zainal Azman Abdul Aziz delivered the verdict after allowing the plaintiff, who was 14 years old at the time, to file the claim through his father, Ahmad Fauzi Abdullah, on April 2, 2017. Besides the 5 former students, the 4 other defendants were Senior Assistant of Student Affairs, Sulaiman Ngarif, former SESMA Principal, Miriam Juso, the Director General of the Education Ministry, and the Malaysian government. The judge said that the bullying incident on April 26, 2015 showed negligence on the part of the school and appeared as if it was planned as it happened in the supervisor's dormitory. As a result of being beaten, kicked and slapped in the incident, the victim lost his right hearing, which prevented him from performing lifelong activities. Coming up next, death toll rises in East Indonesia quake. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Still on Nightline. The death toll from a strong earthquake in Indonesia's eastern province of Maluku has risen to 30 people on Sunday as hundreds of thousands of people remain in evacuation shelters. According to officials, the 6.5 magnitude quake hit early on Thursday, damaging hundreds of houses and dozens of public facilities and infrastructure, including the main bridge in the city of Ambon. Many were killed by falling rubble and more than 150 others were injured. The quake also forced over 200,000 people to remain in shelters. Those whose houses were destroyed have set up tents as shelters near hospitals or schoolyards. People living near the ocean also evacuated to higher ground following the quake, fearing a tsunami, despite authorities ruling out the possibility of a giant wave. Indonesia, which sits on the seismically active Pacific Ring of Fire, is often hit by deadly earthquakes and tsunamis. Looks like that wraps up Nightline this time around, but before we leave, let's have a look as thousands of Lego fans rifle through millions of plastic blocks to construct their own part of a Lego megacity in Finland. With that, I'm Anita Wu. Thank you for watching and have a good week ahead.